Hello everyone and welcome to another VASAviation video. Today we're going to be talking about this collision that occurred in LaGuardia a couple days ago between two CRJs, Delta Connection, Endeavour aircraft. We'll be reviewing the weather, we'll be watching some videos inside the cockpit, landing at LaGuardia during the night so you can get the perspective and you can get the view of what it looks like to land at a big airport during the night with all the lights. It's kind of difficult, similar to what we talked about during the Nice review, the analysis on the Nice near collision in France. And as I said, during the night, everything gets more complicated. So also we'll be watching at the ground radar. Unlike yesterday's video, it was just an animation that I manually edited myself based on ADS-B data, yes, but finally it's just an animation manually edited by myself. Today, with the ground radar that I have right now on our radar software, it should be more precise, more accurate. Here's the ground radar that I have worked out with the real ADS-B data provided by Airplanes.Live. We use our own software and we display the airplanes based on ADS-B data, real ADS-B data. So these positions are as accurate as you can get. You can see Endeavour 5047 there has just landed on runway 4, vacated to the right, and is ready to taxi to the gate. Endeavour 5155 is not yet on the radar, probably pushing back or ready to start the engines, getting out the gate. However, you can see Endeavour 4719 and Endeavour 4188, same thing. 4188 is a departure, 4719 is an arrival. They're in a kind of similar situation to these collision airplanes. 5188 will give way to the inbound aircraft and then you go out. That's kind of routine procedure at LaGuardia. Only a few seconds later and now we will listen to the audio. Don't worry, just you can see that Endeavour 5155 just popped up on the radar. 4719 again, those two aircraft, not incident aircraft, just so you can see 5188 gave way, 4719 came in, and now 4188 will go out. Again, routine procedure at LaGuardia. There we have 5047 is continued taxiing into the gate, and 5155 just appeared and getting ready for taxi to departure. Before we continue with the video, let's talk about the weather. You can see here the two reports, 0051, this is Zulu time, and 0151. The collision was at about 0156. UTC time. So the latest report you can see there, the wind 020 at 10 knots, visibility 10, that's okay, and clear skies. So we can consider this a clear night, visibility was perfect.
5155 ground 13 taxi Alpha Echo, hold short of 4 and Mike give way to company.
Alpha Echo and hold short of 4 and Mike give way to the company to 13 services 17.
New departure frequency is 120.8.
Now there you could see where the Endeavour 5155, where and when the Endeavour 5155 got their taxi clearance, and the position with Endeavour 5047, which is taxiing inbound. 5155, I'm sorry, they're taxiing via Alpha already, and 5047 taxiing via Bravo, opposite directions. 5047 will make their next right turn onto Mike, and apparently they have priority. They have the right of way first, and Endeavour 5155 has been told to give way. Now, many of you are saying, hey, Tower, why don't you just hold short of Mike, and then you give another instruction to continue? You know, that's not how it works in big airports. You know, you're busy, you need to give instructions every second. So you just, the instructions to give way just imply to hold short of that taxiway. With the difference that if I am just told to give way, as soon as I give way to that aircraft, I just continue taxi with my taxi instructions. If I receive the hold short instruction from the ATC, I go to that position, hold short of that taxiway and stop, and I am not moving until I receive another instruction from tower, from ground to move. So that is not efficient at big airports. So they say give way, and as soon as you give way, you continue, so you keep the flow moving of aircraft, right? Because the frequency is busy and tower and the controller, actually ground, we cannot pretend them to give progressives and to be talking to us every 50 or 100 meters. So we get the full taxi instruction, and with a giveaway instruction, we just go to that intersection, give way to the traffic, and then we continue. And that way we have the flow continue moving without more frequency, without more instructions. So to hold short of mic, that might have worked, of course. Yeah, hold short of mic, and then I will tell you when you're clear of the aircraft, I will tell you to continue. Yes, but that's not how it works. Any airport around the world, you're just told to give way to an aircraft. You see the aircraft. When you're clear, you continue. That's how it works. You can see the aircraft now moving, and Endeavour 5047 will very soon turn right to Mike. You can see it there. Position kind of sloppy there. 5155 via Alpha. Looks like windy.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Approaching minimums.
That's a beautiful cockpit. Continue. 2 and 2, that's right.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Boom, boom. Get off those lights. So back to this frame of the video so you can see the perspective and what it looks like to land LaGuardia at night. In this case it's runway 31, but who cares? You see there are many lights there in the ramp area, terminal area. We have runway lights, taxiway lights, even you have downtown New York there in front of you. So yeah, it's tricky, and this is why, especially if you're not a pilot or you're a student pilot, going through your training, and then at some point you will do your nighttime training, and this is why we do it, because getting references and getting distances, distinguishing aircraft or things on the ground during the night can be really difficult. So we have a training for that, and every time I go out flying during the night, I enjoy it a lot, and it's quite tricky, especially when you're on the ground now taxiing. And I explained this same thing in the Nice analysis of the near collision there in France a week ago. And this is why we train at night too. Now back to the radar, and at this exact position where the aircraft have not collided just yet, let me talk to you about the active listening on frequency, both sides, from ATC and from pilots. First of all, ATC. ATC will give you an instruction, you will read the instruction back, and the ATC must keep active listening on the readback and double check that your readback is correct. So you have, in the safety of aviation, and this is very important, we have the ATC giving an instruction, that's first step. We have the pilots listening to that instruction, discussing between themselves. This is just 2 seconds. Discussing between themselves, or actually checking the instruction both on the airport layout and the map, the chart. You see the instruction, you double check, it makes sense. Okay, I read it back, the second step. And the third step is ATC double checking again, triple checking that your readback is correct. So if the readback is correct, the ATC will understand that, hey, you understand the instruction, you agree with it, and you will do it, right? Because we don't read back an instruction that we are not comfortable with, right, as a pilot. So that's 3 steps. That's not double checking, that's triple checking. The instruction to Endeavour 5155 was perfectly clear. 5155, taxi via Echo, Alpha, hold short at 4, at Mike, give way to company. Yes, maybe if that instruction were slower and, more precise, that would be better, yes. But again, it's LaGuardia, it's a busy airport. The second step was the crew reading back the instruction, which also was quite confusing, but it was right. And they actually read it back correctly. They read it back, Echo, Alpha, hold short of runway 4, and at Mike, give way to company. So they understood the instruction and they are supposed to follow that instruction. Now, from the 5047 perspective, and that's active listening as well, we know that these two aircraft were on the same frequency, and this is ground frequency. That's different to the previous LaGuardia incident that we had, that also you have on the channel, where we had a near miss between two aircraft, a near collision as well, but both aircraft were on different frequencies. Again, really important, and just a note here for the safety of the future. Now, 5047 and 5155 were on the same frequency, so 5155 should be listening to not only to their instructions, but also to everyone's, and Endeavour 5047 as well. So if we're taxiing Bravo Mike to the gate, and you listen to Endeavour 5155 at Mike, give way to company, if I am the 5047 pilot, I say, and I discuss with my pilot, with my captain, I say, hey, okay, at Mike, someone is going to give way to us. So as we turn to Mike, we look out and look for that someone, right? Now again, during nighttime, judging distances and speeds can be really tricky. So let's get on board Endeavour 5047 here, and let's say they turn right at Mike, and for Alpha, they say clear left and clear right. Endeavour 5155 is just there. So the captain, actually both of them will look to the left. Left is clear, or just say, hey, we have an aircraft, but we have discussed that aircraft is going to give way to us. Okay, so we continue. We have priority. We're going to be number one, so we continue. Now, again, judging the distances and the speeds of an aircraft on the ground, also in the air, but on the ground, it's quite tricky. So maybe Endeavour 5047 pilots saw Endeavour 5155, but they supposed they were going to stop, and maybe they misjudged the speed of that aircraft, or they just thought, okay, they will stop sometime. Now when they realized they won't, they stop right away. And that's a good call, I think, because just 5 meters more, and maybe the wing of the Endeavour 5155 will just not be just a clip on the nose of the aircraft, and maybe just go through the windshield and just in front of your face. So again, I think it's a problem of being at night. This same incident with the same aircraft at the same locations, with the same communications at 1 p.m., I'm sure, clear day as well, I'm sure this wouldn't have been a problem at all. So pay attention when you're taxiing, and pay attention when you're taxiing at night. Double check everything, and take your time. Again, we can get into problems of tiredness, fatigue, how many days you have worked this month, how many hours you have flown today, how many hours you have flown during the last week, right? And that's another story. Very important story as well, but that's another story. But yeah, it's nighttime, probably Endeavour 5047, last rotation, last flight, getting to the gate, that kind of discussion that we also have. And it's important as well, but give me the perspective of what it looks like to taxi on a big airport at night, and what my thoughts are. Now for Endeavour 5155, I mean, that's no excuse. You read the instructions properly. You are a taxiway Alpha. You should be, as you're moving along Alpha, you should be looking for Mike. That's your next instruction. At Mike, give way to someone. you're getting closer and closer to Mike, you stop or you reduce your speed and start looking for that someone. If you don't see that someone, because maybe they are already passed and you're clear to continue, you stop your aircraft. You can ask for ATC, hey, tower, we don't see any aircraft. Are we clear to continue? Whatever. Okay. But there was an aircraft. There wasn't any other aircraft that maybe they got confused with. That, okay, we just saw an aircraft taxiing by. That was our aircraft. We continue, but not Endeavour 5047 was your aircraft, right? If that makes sense. So for Endeavour 5155, I am very sorry, but no excuse. The readback was correct. The readback was clear and was a standard. And they just overshot Mike without looking for any aircraft. And again, if you have doubts or you don't see the aircraft for whatever reason, stop your aircraft, ask ATC, and get clarification that you're clear to continue or not. So again, no excuse. Now for the ATC, let's going to listen to that particular instruction again, and let's dig into it and see how we can improve that communication. Again, it's LaGuardia nighttime. It's busy, but it's not that busy. So yeah, we of course can improve some things on there too.
Air 5155 ground 13, taxi Alpha Echo, hold short of 4 at Mike, give way to company.
There's a slight pause between hold short of 4 at Mike. In the captions yesterday, I think I just put a dot, a period there, just to separate both sentences. 13, let's listen to it again.
Air 5155 ground 13, taxi Alpha Echo, hold short of
13, taxi via Alpha Echo, hold short of 4. Some of you were saying hold short of 4 at Mike. No, there's a very short stop there, very short pause. Actually, because holding short of 4 at Mike doesn't make sense. So hold short of 4, period. At Mike, give way to company. Yes, they can reduce the speed a little bit. You know, this is New York, busy airport again. They actually talk very fast. But that's how it is. And the instructions were clear.
Air 5155 ground 13, taxi Alpha Echo, hold short of 4 at Mike, give way to company.
At Mike, give way to company. That's pretty clear. And you know what's clear even more? The readback. Well, kind of.
Company.
Alpha Echo and hold short of 4 at Mike, give way to the company.
Hold short of 4 at Mike, yeah, that's more like continuous sentence there. You really need to focus and to emphasize those instructions separately, right? So taxi runway 13, Alpha Echo, hold short of 4, stop. At Mike, give way to company. Again, you do this 25 times a month or 45 times a month, 55 times a month. If you're LaGuardia based, you fly here every day in and out. You are quick on the communications. You know the airport. You actually know the airport layout very well. You can be fast and you can be quick on the communications. Yes. And actually the ATC didn't say nothing. They understood. Okay, your readback was correct. Yeah.
Air 5155, new departure frequency is 120.8.
And that's an unrelated communication for a new departure frequency. When you're airborne, you auto switch. Well, actually, not here in LaGuardia. They will tell you to contact departure, and then you just have to click on it. You have the departure frequency ready, and that's something that we are implementing also here in Europe, quite in many airports as well. Or also the auto switch. You have on the departure chart, you have the frequency, and you, as soon as you take off, safety altitude, you go auto switch and you switch just yourself to the departure frequency. That's quite useful as well in major airports in Europe. Yeah, again, for the taxi instruction, it was clear enough, and the readback was clear enough as well to just be in the margin, in the safety margin of, hey, you need to repeat that instruction, or hey, you need to repeat that readback. Both of them understood each other, and next. There you can see at that point, they're just clipped 5155 gets like a little bit to the right. 5047 gets the real, the real heat on the nose. I can only imagine the feeling, the thought on those pilots, especially for 5047, right? They just literally saw the wing going through their windshield and actually hitting the nose there. And also 5155, when you're taxiing, and I imagine they just feel like a bump on the right side. Your aircraft just like moves a little bit because the wing has just clipped the nose, and it looks like you're taxiing just there comfortably, and suddenly the aircraft like veers to the right. That's a disgusting feeling, I can tell, yes. And also when you hear someone on the radio, 5047, we need traction mic, that's when you realize, hey, we have just hit another aircraft. So again, I hope this clarifies the situation a little better, especially for those people that are not a pilot. And if you're a pilot and you have more information, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you are a frequent flyer to LaGuardia, in and out, or if you have more expertise, of course, please let me know in the comments. I really appreciate any information and feedback that you can give me and you can share with the VASAviation community. So that was it for today. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one.
I was just involved in a ground collision on Delta 5155 from LaGuardia to Roanoke. This is what happened. Half of our wing is missing. We collided with this other Delta CRJ 900. But yeah, this is crazy.